Now, notice the sensation of the vibration in your head. You will feel this kind of clarity, this feeling of void of blankness in your head. Focus on that feeling of the vibration. If there's an underlying stress arise or manifest in your body, just realize it's happened. Just realize that it's happening. Focus on it without judging or engaging with it. Just realize and locate it in your body. Try not to make sense of it too much, but just feel it, realize it, feel it, and know that if you brought yourself back to the present moment, with the feeling of a blank, void space in your head after the vibration of the R word, brought yourself back to that feeling. Stay in the present moment and know that there's nothing that is more important than the present moment, especially when you are doing the meditation, which is the act of doing nothing. If you're looking from the outside, breathe in and breathe out. Staying with your body right here and now will help you tremendously. Will ease the stress of thinking constantly about the future. that honesty never comes or doesn't even exist, because the present moment is all that we have. The more you're chanting this vibrated words, you will realize that there's a vibration that helps clear your brain. You will hear less internal voice or internal dialogue in your head. This vibration helps clean up or clear that space in your head. Because it helps you create a focal point or a focus of the vibration in your head, which will eventually helps you relax and reduce your stress. Breathe in and breathe out. Open your auditory senses to your surroundings. Will also help grounded you to the present moment. Now that you are ready, let's do the chanting for another round. Breathe in and let's do another round. It doesn't matter how much how long you're chanting, or what's really matter is that you are being aware of the act of chanting and be at present At every seconds, every milliseconds, when you are chanting Om, make it the most important thing for you right now. Stay with each chanting, no matter how long it is, to the end. And while you're not chanting, just be aware of that pulse vibration in your head. Your head will feel kind of spacey, blankless, clear. Your head is clear and is a blank canvas for your higher self or nature or God, whatever you want to call it, to be at present with you. And those type of things, God's universe or whatever they call it, those are just you being the present moment. Those are not you. Those are not outside of you. Those are inside of you. And they are happening when you're in the present moment. Because you need to understand that there's not much of a mystic, magic, unearthly things in the world, but just the world as it is, nature as it is. That is the real magic of the world, of this dimension, one may say, if you will. Because you literally do not have to do anything for the magic to happen. You just have to practice being in the present moment and let the nature unfold situations for you and go with the flow. And also do whatever your heart desire. Acknowledge the things that you want to do and the things that you don't want it to do. Truly follow the joy, not follow the comfort, but follow the joy. Now let's go for another round. Sit with the feelings after you have chanting the Om. Imagine your hand grabbing your attention and put it on the spacey sense that we feel after the Om chanting. Stress comes from the fact that you are thinking about the future and that gap between future and the present, causing you stress because you wanted to be there in the future. You wanted it to happen. You wanted that outcome that you expected to happen. You focus so much on goals because you thought that that is what will accelerate your life to the goal. But the fact is, keep focusing on the future might create a false sense of direction, but it's actually didn't do anything for you. The most important thing that will get you to where you want fast is to be at the present moment and do whatever you want. Because when you do whatever you want, you will discover that you are in the flow state, a state where there's no time. Time doesn't exist. You will feel like you are doing it. And when you just raise your head out from that things that you are doing that you love, time flies so fast. Times are gone when you are in the flow state. The state that you need to constantly looking at the clock. When you feel like you need to look at the time, that's when you are not in the flow state. That's when you need to consider if the things that you do is really the things that you wanted to do. If you have to constantly keep looking at the time, when in fact time shouldn't exist in when you're doing the things that you love and getting into the flow state. Time shouldn't exist. Your expectation of the outcome to be exactly what your mind wanted, your mind being the things that didn't know better than nature. You might feel very compelled and really convincing that the mind is doing something, is thinking about something, is plotting something. You might convince that that's great. Thinking is great. But the fact is, thinking is something new for our evolution, human evolution. Thinking is a new element that add to our evolution chart. It's new, but we are in the phase where you need to learn more about thinking. You need to learn how powerful it is and also when to use it and also how to stop using it as well. Everything should be in moderation. And sometimes thinking just leads us to the future, the dreaming future that is not happening right now or never will happen in the exact way that you are expected or that thoughts are expected. Not to worry, your dreams will all come true, but it will not be by just random thinking or just caught up in a spiral thinking that is the act out of fear, out of anxiety. It's actually you should appreciate it. That kind of thinking. What you would like to do with it is acknowledge that it comes from the fear. See it, understand it. Be grateful for it because that's our primitive instincts trying to urge us to do things, to get up and do the things that we have to do, that we thought we have to do. You can appreciate that, but also acknowledge that that is not as useful as being in the present moment. That's the new knowledge for humankind to register. It's also a part of our evolution to learn about thoughts, to realize that your internal and external are happening at the same time, are happening constantly. Your external oftentimes reflects what's inside of you. Look around. The external world is also important as it tells us which stage we are in internally. If your external is chaotic, maybe that reflects inside of you. So when you find yourself in that kind of situation, what you wanted to do is to start with the internal. Start with the internal is always a great idea. Change your internal and your external will change automatically. This can be understood by trying. You just give it a try. Or you can understand this by the common knowledge, common sense that whenever you're feeling happy, your selective attention will be towards something that causes you happiness. And for example, if you focus on the red cars, you will see red cars everywhere. That is one explanation of how the internal can affect external. It's nothing magical, it's actually a magical, but in a realistic way. And that's what's make nature, what makes this world so amazing to live in, to be in and to play, to be in the pleasant moment and let the nature unveil what it's wanted to tell you for you. Try not to overcomplicate or to think too much. Try to go with the flow. Or even if you're someone who constantly stressed, try to think less. Trust that no matter what situation you're in, it's gonna be for your own goods, no matter good or bad situation in your life. Even the challenge in your life, the fact that you constantly thinking about it, thinking about the uncertainty that might happen, it's actually causing you more pain than when you are actually in that pain. Be in the eyes of the storms, if you may, when you are feeling like you're in the phase where there's a lot of challenges in your life. Be inside the storms. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be better than you think. It's gonna be better than you illuminating it over and over again in your head. That cause more harm than actually be in the pain. Just let the pain go through your body and just be with it and trust that just as everything, every sensations, it will taught you something and it will go away. It's here to taught you something, the pain. When you are stressed, be with it. Try not to avoid it. Try not to get rid of it. Just sit with it. Observe it in every angles. Even you can even talk to it. Talk to your stress. Ask it, where does it come from? When does it come from? When does it appear? What triggers it to appear? What color is it? What does it want? You can ask all these types of questions with your stress to learn more about it. It's just a teacher, really. And most of the time, the lesson for stress is for you to ultimately be in the present moment and not constantly be in the future. Do things that you enjoy. If you are thinking you have to do things that you are not enjoying, the fact that you think about it, thinking that, oh, I don't enjoy this, that is far worse than actually doing it. Because the fact is, it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what you do. Do whatever is easy or it's at hand. Do whatever it is for you to do without trying to thinking about it too much. Just sit, get into it, do it. Doing it, even if it's the job that you hate, the act of doing it is not as bad as you think it is. Just try. No one cannot talk you out of the stress other than you. You are the one who have to understand your own stress and to do something about it. For example, if you're stressing because you are thinking that, oh, you don't want to do this thing, and by not doing that thing, causing you more and more stress because it's create the space for you to think about the fact that you don't want to do it. When in fact, if you just sit and do that thing that you don't want to do, it might be enjoyable even sometimes, because when things are complicated or when things are repetitive, all this thing is a task that seems like something that human being will not like that much. This thing is actually the things that can get you into the flow state, because it causes you a very right amount of brain space to do it. So do nothing to talk with you, to be with your stress. And then when you feel like you're done, give yourself all the time in the world that you want. Remember, don't care much about time. Care more about your own time, your own. If you feel like doing nothing, do nothing at its finest. Do nothing, like really do nothing. Sit, feeling whatever the current feeling you are feeling right now, without trying to get rid of it, without trying to avoid it. Feel it with all your senses. Don't add the stories to it, just feel it. Locate where it manifests in your body, and then when you feel like you are ready, just get up and do anything that you can think of. Maybe like the first thing that you think of, go do that thing. Get into the flow state. Keep repeating that doing nothing and doing things process until you find and realize what you really want to do. And eventually, without even thinking or plotting anything, you will eventually get to the point where you get to do the things that you really born to do, or really wanted, really desire. Just by keep living life. That's the only thing that you have to do. And this is what I get out after Om chanting sessions. So thank you, and thank you, me, so much for sitting here and going through these realizations. Hope you stay present throughout your wonderful day. Thank you.